Were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, Dirty Birds fans, are you ready to get this thing started? Play ball! Yeah, let's play ball.
Just a couple minutes away from baseball in West Virginia. From the capital of the state, it's Charleston, where the Dirty Birds will host the Blue Crabs for the first of 3 games in a 3-game set. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs won 2 out of 3 at home against Lexington, have won 7 of their last 8 games. We'll run through the Blue Crabs lineup momentarily and then bring you through the Dirty Birds defensive alignment. Starting with Southern Maryland, it's Jack Sundberg who will lead things off. He's in center field. It's Michael Wolanski at second base. Jared Walker bats third. David Harris is the designated hitter. He bats fourth. It's Alex Crosby who's at third base today. He's in the 5 spot. Braxton Lee bats sixth. He's in right field. Joe DeLuca in back-to-back games will be playing first base. He bats seventh. And Ryan Haug is doing the catching. He bats eighth. Closing out the lineup, batting ninth, it is Michael Baca. And we'll take you around the diamond for the Charleston Dirty Birds from left to right in the outfield. Scott Kelly is in left, Angel Beltre in center, Juan Perez in right, Scott Burcham at third, Zach Cohn at short, Diego Goris is playing second base, and Nick Longy at first base. Behind home plate, it's Alfredo Gonzalez. He's doing the catching for the starting pitcher for the Dirty Birds, Max Tannenbaum. Tannenbaum is primarily a reliever, but he gets the start today, and he's likely just going to be an opener more than a starter. They do not have the designated hitter in the lineup tonight, which signals that they're probably going to go through a number of pinch hitters and a number of relief pitchers. Tannenbaum is making his first start over the past 2 seasons. Did not start at all last year, and this year he has a 6 ERA across 15 innings. He has allowed 10 earned runs, 13 total runs. Across 15 innings, 16 hits, I beg your pardon, 8 walks. So he has a whip of 1.60. Well, it's Jack Sundberg who steps in. Sundberg in yesterday's ball games was sort of a tale of 2 games. Played quite well in game 1 of the series. Struggled a little bit in game 2. 1 for 2 with 3 and reached base 3 times back in game 1. Was 0 for 3 in game 2. The first pitch in there for a called strike, and the count 0-1. Here's the 0-1 offering. That's up and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the left-handed hitter, Jack Sundberg. Sundberg got off to a terrific start this season, especially in the month of April into May, into early May. 1-1, that's up and away. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Tannenbaum, after picking up a first pitch strike, has fallen behind in the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs picked up a 5-game winning streak between York, Lancaster, and the first game against Lexington. 2-1 pitch, that's a little bit away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike on Sundberg. Always a threat to steal if he ends up getting on base. Tannenbaum. He's set. It's a sign from the catcher, Gonzalez. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Cut on and fouled back overhead. And the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A really beautiful backdrop here in West Virginia. The rolling hills and the mountains are prevalent in the state's capital and showing the state's character with some buildings on either side as the pitch is cut on and fouled back. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Jack Sundberg, I beg your pardon. Zach Cohn over at shortstop. Scotty Burcham, the former Blue Crab, at third base. Back around the diamond, Diego Goris at second, and Nick Lange at first. Nobody out in the top of the first inning. Jack Sundberg leads things off. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the lefty. Swing and a fly ball, right field line, tailing, and it's going to go foul over toward the Blue Crabs bullpen. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes as Jack Sundberg works a lengthy at-bat. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Well, velocity hasn't jumped off the page yet for Tannenbaum. It's been 87 to 89 for the most part. Tannenbaum set. We'll do it again. Here's the 3-2. Swinging a foul ball once more. Jack Sundberg continues to foul these pitches off. And we spoke about this earlier in the broadcast, but the Dirty Birds are likely going inning by inning with their pitchers. This is not going to be a full start for Tannenbaum. And now it's the 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. And Sundberg's had a good eye. Everything he swung at has been in the zone. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive. Ground ball towards second. Goris ranges up the middle, and he tosses to first in time for the first out. Sundberg, a 9-pitch at bat, but he goes down via a ground out. Michael Wolanski comes to the plate. Wolanski had a big game yesterday, and the Blue Crabs, I believe, are still sort of working through who their second baseman is going to be more long-term. The Blue Crabs did trade to get Wolanski, but they've also been working with Yetzko, who's had a good year, and Shaw, who went through a cold stretch but seems to have broken out of it. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 on Wolanski. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. But Wolanski had a terrific game yesterday. Was 3 for 8. A terrific pair of games, really. Had 3 RBIs, including a solo home run. 1-0 pitch. That runs up and in. Count 2 balls and no strikes. As Max Tannenbaum falls behind in the count yet again to Michael Wolanski. Fell behind to Jack Sundberg and now falls behind to Wolanski. Ended up inducing a ground out from Jack Sundberg, though. 2-0 pitch, big wave and a miss. Fastball at 86. Thigh high, and Wolanski swings through it. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. NCAA Baseball Regionals getting underway today. A lot of fun action in store. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss again. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couple of strong pitches from Tannenbaum. Base paths empty with 1 out. No score on the top of the first inning. The Blue Crabs looking to strike first. 2-2 pitch to Wolanski. Ooh, very close, just missed. According to the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. Your umpires today, Kirk Powell behind the plate, Antonio Beltri at first, and Bob Wayford over at third base. Another 3-2 count. 15th pitch of the outing. It's up and in for ball 4. So Michael Wolanski draws a walk on 6 pitches. And that's after a 9-pitch at bat from Jack Sundberg. So 15 pitches from Max Tannenbaum across the first 2 batters. He records a ground out and a walk. Runner on first base and 1 out for Jared Walker here in the top of the first inning. Walker 3 for 4 in game 1, 0 for 3 in game 2. Tannenbaum, the pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Southern Maryland in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday trailed 4-1. They clawed their way back in it, ended up tying the score at 4. Tied it again at 6 in extras, and ultimately fell at 10-6, but a come-from-behind win in game 2, 3-2, as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back, count 0-2. Gave the Blue Crabs a win. Southern Maryland 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 6 out of their last 7 ball games. The 7th pitch, or the 17th pitch, I should say, was fouled off on a 72-mile-an-hour breaking ball. 0-2 pitch, low in the dirt. Runner takes off. The throw is into center field. Wolanski's going to go to third, and he's in standing up. Michael Wolanski took off for second base when the catcher Alfredo Gonzalez couldn't find out where the ball was. Threw it down to second. That went into center field, and Wolanski finds himself at third base. As Kirk Powell, the home plate umpire, emphatically puts his mask back on. The toast man is toasting, that we know. He cooks toast and then will throw out pieces of toast on a strikeout. It's like something you've never seen. Here's the 1-2 to Walker. Swinging a high fly ball, center field deep, sends Beltray back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch for the second out. Tagging from third and scoring, Michael Wolanski, the Blue Crabs on the board first. It's 1-0 with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. It's a big run for Southern Maryland. It's a team that does very well when they score the first run of the game. When the Blue Crabs score first, they are 16-2. Here comes David Harris, the cleanup hitter in the Blue Crabs lineup. First pitch, called strike, belt high, and the count 0-1. That was the 20th pitch of the first inning from Tannenbaum, and it's really tough to figure out exactly how many innings he's likely to go. He's not someone who frequently goes beyond an inning or 2. This one, swinging a high fly ball, deep left center field, sends Kelly back at the warning track, gives way for Beltray in front of the Comac sign where he makes the catch. Well, a couple of very well hit balls to the deepest part of the ballpark. They both go down as flyouts. One a sac fly as the Blue Crabs tack on the first run of the game. It's the Blue Crabs 1 and the Charleston Dirty Birds coming to bat when we come back.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster, and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
Well, we go to the bottom of the first inning. The Blue Crabs 1 and the Charleston Dirty Birds nothing. We'll bring you the Charleston batting order in a couple of moments as the first pitch is a called strike on the leadoff hitter, Scott Kelly. Well, let's run you through the order. It's Kelly to lead things off. He's in left field. Angel Beltre in center field. He bats second. The 0-1 pitch, I should say, is up and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. In the bottom of the first inning, the Blue Crabs lead this one 1-0. Beltre will be followed by Perez. His first pitch, the 1-1, swinging a high fly ball, left field, somewhat deep. It's Jared Walker who tracks that ball back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch for the first out. And there is one away in the bottom of the first inning. So let's run back through this lineup. Kelly bats first, Beltre bats second, Juan Perez bats third. Nick Lange is the cleanup hitter. Diego Goris bats fifth. Alfredo Gonzalez is the sixth hitter. Scott Bertram bats seventh. Zach Cohn in the 8th spot. And batting ninth is the pitcher, Max Tannenbaum. First pitch, it's a check swing from Beltre. Slowly hit down the line. And the toss to first is in time. They're going to say the first base umpire, though, Antonio Beltre, is going to wave that off, though, and say that it was a foul ball. May have fouled it off of his cleat. It was unclear, honestly, on that initial view. As far as ballparks are concerned, though, this is easily one of the coolest ballparks we play at. In the rolling hills in the background. The warehouse on the right-hand side, on the right field side. Here is the 1-0, the 1-1 pitch. This one swinging a line drive into left field for a base hit. A quick throw from Jared Walker holds Angel Beltre to a single. And there's a runner on first now with 1 out. It's a good piece of hitting from Beltre. Goes the other way. And what seemed like it was going to be a quick 2 up and 2 down, he gets new life and rips the ball into left center. And there's 1 on with 1 out. We're going to bring you around the Blue Crabs order in 1 moment and also give you the line for Mackenzie Mills. Mills set. Here's the pitch. Called strike. Count 0-1. Mackenzie Mills is making his 8th start of the season. First for the 0-1. That's a big cut and a miss from the 3-hitter, Juan Perez. I beg your pardon, Carlos Perez. Well, our lineup card said Juan, and this one, 0-2 pitch came up and in, nearly hit him. So it's Juan Carlos Perez. I think Perez will suffice. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Perez. We're going to give you more on the line, though, on Mills momentarily. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch swinging a chopper, second base side, fielded by Wolanski, who drifted over toward first base, and he tosses over for the second out. So 2 away in the bottom of the first inning. Runner on second base for Charleston. That's Beltre. And here comes Nick Longy. So last time out for Mackenzie Mills, he went 7 innings of work, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs. It's a pair of home runs. He walked 2 batters and struck out 8. Was likely his best performance of the year. First pitch, big wave and a miss from Nick Longy, who leads this team in a number of categories, including batting average, home runs, RBIs, you name it. Longy probably leads it. Mills set. Pitch to the righty Longy, swinging a ground ball over towards short. Baca fields, throw across the diamond is in time. Well, Mackenzie Mills surrenders a hit, but works out of a bit of a jam at the end of 1 inning of play. It's the Blue Crabs who lead this one 1-0. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Andres Viceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
So, what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home, whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
Top of the second inning from Charleston, West Virginia. Blue Crabs lead at 1-0, and they send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. First pitch to Crosby is away, over toward the lefty batter's box, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Alex Crosby will be followed by Braxton Lee and Joe DeLuca. One 0 pitch, big wave and a miss, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, back in the top of the first inning, we alluded to the question of how long is Max Tannenbaum going to be out there? Well, it appears he'll be out there for at least the second inning. 1-1, cut on and foul back to the netting. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on the lefty, Alex Crosby. Or beg your pardon, count 1 and 2 now on the lefty. If anyone would like a shout out, please go ahead and write your name and where you're watching from in the YouTube chat. 1-2, ooh, looked awfully close, but a little inside on the lefty Crosby. Number of fans voicing their displeasure with the call. And the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive, rather deep to right field. Perez back in front of the wall on the Embassy Suite sign where he makes the catch for the first out. A very well struck ball off the bat of Alex Crosby.
Now batting right fielder number 13, Braxton.
And there is one away now in the bottom of the top of the second inning. Nobody on, 1 out. Top of the second inning for Braxton Lee. And the first pitch to Lee is low and away for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes down on the lefty. In the doubleheader yesterday, Lee was 2 for 8. He drove in a pair of runs. Also scored a run. 1-0 pitch, that's up and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. His 2 RBIs, the first RBI came in game 1. In the bottom of the 8th inning when the Blue Crabs were trailing 6-4, he drove in Alex Crosby, the inherited runner from second, to make it a 6-5 ball game. The Blue Crabs would end up tying it 6-6. The 2-0 pitch is up and away. Count 3 balls and no strikes. The Blue Crabs would end up tying it 6-6 before falling 10-6 in game 1. Then in game 2, Braxton Lee had a ground out to the right side, but it was enough to get the run in to give the Blue Crabs a 3-2 lead, a lead that they would end up holding on to and winning in 7 innings.
Now batting first baseman number 10.
And that one is up and away. It's ball 4. And there's a runner on first base now with 1 out. So after Crosby goes down on a deep fly ball to right field, it's Braxton Lee who earns a walk. Runner on first base with 1 away. Here comes Joe DeLuca. DeLuca was quieter in the last series against Lexington. The pitch, that's up and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Was 1 for 6 in the doubleheader. Did drive in, or did walk once as well. In the last series, he was 2 for 10, had a run scored and an RBI. 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. Pitch, that one swung and fouled off the mask of Alfredo Gonzalez. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez, the catcher for the Dirty Birds tonight. As Braxton Lee stands on first base. Lee a bit of a threat to steal himself. He is 6 for 6 in stolen bases. One offering upcoming from Tannenbaum. That's low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Something we haven't mentioned yet. Despite the fact the scenery might be nice in the background, as you can see, there are quite a few clouds out there, and likely some rain clouds coming our way. And so we'll have to deal with rain probably throughout the evening. It shouldn't be extremely heavy rain, but it will be consistent. 2-1, swinging a line drive to right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Braxton Lee rounds second. He trots into third base. There are runners on the corners with one out here in the top of the second inning. So Joe DeLuca rips one to right. And there are runners on the corners now for Southern Maryland, and one out. DeLuca from first, Lee from third, as Ryan Haug steps in. Haug leads this team in batting average at .353. During the last road trip, against York, we'll get there in a moment, pitch is low and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. In that last road trip, which was a 13-game road trip, much longer than this one will just be 3 games. But in that 13-game road trip in the third series against York, Haug's batting average popped over 400 momentarily. 1-0, that's up and in, and it hits Haug again. Ryan Haug has been hit for the 18th time this season, and it is unbelievable to see how many times he's been hit by a pitch. You know, I don't like to overuse the term unbelievable because usually you can believe it, but Haug has been hit 18 times across 25 games. So it's something that's, out of a video game. The home plate umpire in today's ball game, Kirk Powell, called time momentarily. Bases are now loaded, though, with one out. For Michael Baca, first pitch, called strike, breaking ball at the knees. And the count 0-1 as Tannenbaum works backward. Looks as though Joe DeLuca dropped something on the ground, went to pick it up. We're ready to go. It's Haug from first, DeLuca from second, and Lee from third. With one out and a 1-0 Blue Crabs lead. Here's the pitch to Baca. Breaking ball again, swing and a miss. He was way ahead of it. Looking fastball and kept off balance. Tannenbaum started him with a 71-mile-an-hour curveball, followed him up with a 70-mile-an-hour curveball. And the Toast Man is calling out to the fans, trying to rally his crowd. 0-2 pitch, that breaking ball missed up and away. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jack Sundberg on deck. Bases are loaded with one out. On a cloudy evening in West Virginia's state capital. 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball toward the middle. The second baseman fields. The throw to first is in time. He stepped on the bag at second and threw to first. Diego Goris turns to himself. A 4-3 double play to end the top of the second inning. The Blue Crabs rallied, but ultimately strand 2 at the end of 1.5 innings of play. It is the Blue Crabs 1 and the Dirty Birds 0. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Mackenzie Mills back on the mound in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Southern Maryland as the first pitch to Diego Goris runs low and in. And the count 1 ball and no strikes on the right-handed hitter who bats 5th in the lineup. Five, 6, and 7 due up. Goris followed by Alfredo Gonzalez and Scott Burcham. 1-0 pitch, swinging a high pop-up, shallow center field. It's Sundberg who takes about 4 steps in and makes the catch for the first down. 1-0 Southern Maryland leads over the Charleston Dirty Birds. That run coming in the top of the first via a sacrifice fly. Both teams have 1 hit here in the bottom of the second inning. As Alfredo Gonzalez, the catcher, steps in. Gonzalez will be followed by Burcham. Mackenzie Mills in the past has struggled, especially early in starts. Got through the first inning effectively and earned the first out here in the second. As the first pitch here to Alfredo Gonzalez is a little bit inside. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes now on the righty. 1-0 pitch, called strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, Rick Freitas says, let's go Blue Crabs. And we've got another comment from Bert Hinman in just 1 moment. 1-1, cut on a high pop-up. Shallow right field, a long run for Braxton Lee, who calls everybody off and makes the catch. Only maybe 25 feet outside of the infield dirt on the first base side, and there are 2 away now. 2 up and 2 down. Here in the bottom of the second. Well, Bert Hinman says, hope the guys got some sleep after finishing the doubleheader at 2 a.m. this morning. And I can assure you today on the bus there were quite a few guys who got some time to take some rest. First pitch is a called strike on Scott Burcham, who apparently goes by Mr. Scott, according to the Toast Man, who leads all the chants. The 1-0 pitch, swinging a foul tip, deflected off of Ryan Haug and over toward the first base side. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Burcham. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead over the Charleston Dirty Birds. The rain hasn't quite hit yet. It's only a matter of time, though, before it starts to fall. The umbrellas haven't come out quite yet, but the rainfall, once it comes, should be very consistent for the next few hours. A large storm, not carrying the heaviest of rain, but significant amounts. 1-1 pitch, swung on and foul back. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we'll really have to see how that affects play here. Considering the rain is in the forecast, the Dirty Birds have a packed house tonight. Friday night in West Virginia. As the 1-2 pitch is low and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a perfect time to go to a baseball game. I think everybody wishes maybe the temperature was a little bit warmer. And there wasn't any rain in the forecast, but you roll with the punches sometimes. 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate toward the concourse level. It took an awkward hop and now finds its way into the suite level. Some lucky fans in the suite end up with a ball. May actually be some Dirty Bird staff up there. Either way, the count 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Lots of 2s up there on the scoreboard. 2-2, rolled over and chopped into the Blue Crabs dugout where it's barehanded by the Blue Crabs DH, David Harris. And now David Harris is having some fun with some of the fans. He showed it to them, put it behind his back, acted like he didn't have it anymore, and then tossed it right back to him. You got to have some fun in the dugout when you're the DH. 2-2 pitch, swinging a high pop-up, first base side. DeLuca ranging over toward the seats, and it's going to fall in the Charleston Dirty Birds dugout. There's a lot of room in these dugouts. Or maybe I should more just say that there's not much of a covering on the dugout. But the extended amount of room, or at least it looks like there's an extended amount of room, means that there's less room for these infielders in foul territory trying to make a play on the ball. Well, the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Scott Burcham, the former Blue Crab who started the year with Southern Maryland. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Haug had trouble finding it, now locates the ball, tosses down to first base. Nicely picked by DeLuca, and that ends the bottom of the second inning. The Charleston Dirty Birds go down in order, and Mackenzie Mills earns a strikeout to finish the second. It's a 1-0 Blue Crabs game as we go to the top of the third.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Back to the top of the order in the top of the third inning. 1-0 Blue Crabs as Jack Sundberg steps in from the left side and takes a first pitch called strike from the pitcher Tannenbaum. Max Tannenbaum has gone 2 innings of work now. And this one, swinging a line drive, shallow into right field, and it falls for a base hit. Jack Sundberg is aboard to get things started in the top of the third inning. And here comes Michael Wolanski. He's scored the lone run of this ball game so far. Reached first on a walk back in the first inning. Stole second base. Advanced to third on the throwing error from the catcher in this ball game, Alfredo Gonzalez. And was driven in on a sacrifice fly from Jared Walker. Well, Tannenbaum steps off and fires to first to check on Jack Sundberg. Here is the pitch. That's over the head of Wolanski. The count 1 ball and no strikes now on the righty. Top of the third inning, the Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead. They scored their run back in the top of the first. It was Michael Wolanski who walked and came around to score on a sac fly from Walker. Jared Walker hit his ball to the warning track, as did David Harris. Runner goes. Pitch is low and away. The throw is into center field. Another bad throw from Alfredo Gonzalez, but this time it does not cost his team, as Sundberg had his head down as he dove into second base. Was not able to get up and try to make a play to third. But a successful stolen base from Jack Sundberg, who had a good jump, and there was no way they're going to catch him. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Sundberg from second. Still nobody out. An opportunity for the Blue Crabs to play some small ball. Advance Sundberg to third base. 2-0 to Wolanski. That came up and in and actually clipped him on the arm. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, speaking with Alfredo Gonzalez. He held him aside as Wolanski went to first base. Runners on first and second with nobody out. The Charleston Dirty Birds have surrendered 1 run so far, but they find themselves in a jam as Jared Walker comes to the plate in the top of the third. It's Sundberg from second. It's Wolanski from first. Meanwhile, David Harris on deck. The goal here for Walker has to be to advance the runners to second and third. That's a minimum. If he can get a base hit, all the better, but the idea has to be at least put 2 runners in scoring position and give the Blue Crabs an opportunity to drive another run in with a sacrifice fly. Walker has the lone RBI in this game thus far. The pitch, check swing. They motion down to second, where the umpire, Bob Wayford, said that he held up. And the count 1 ball and no strikes now on the lefty, Jared Walker. And the toast man is yelling out toward the Blue Crabs players about last night's doubleheader that I know all too well about. And the 0-1 pitch, called strike. The count 0-2. Well, the third base umpire, Bob Wayford, definitely said he didn't go around. Just surprising as to why the count now reads 0-2. Either way, that is the count. Count, no balls and 2 strikes on Jared Walker. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch, swinging a fly ball foul, third base side, going to get into the seats. Up toward that concourse level. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes as David Harris, who stands in that on-deck circle. He said, by the time they got out of there, it was 2:20. By the time I got out of there, it was actually 2:30. So it was 2:30 in the morning yesterday. We all caught a 7:30 bus, or at least many of the players caught a 7:30 bus. Got into Charleston today around 2:30 p.m. as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Walker goes down swinging, but a lot of sleeping on that bus. The players got an opportunity to get a little bit of rest. And David Harris, who's hitting .310 on the year, digs in from the right side. Harris hit a ball to the warning track in left field. Nearly got enough of that one to get it out of the ballpark. And 3 balls today hit to the warning track. They came from the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Alex Crosby, hard line drive to the warning track in right, but Juan Carlos Perez tracked it down. First pitch breaking ball up and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes. One out, runners on first and second. Count 1-0 on Harris. This one swinging a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. They're going to send Sundberg from second. The throw is cut off by the shortstop, Kane, and the Blue Crabs have taken a 2-0 lead on an RBI single from David Harris, who produces here in Game 1 against the Charleston Dirty Birds in the top of the third inning. It's Southern Maryland 2 and Charleston nothing. Max Tannenbaum all of a sudden running into trouble. There is still no action in the Charleston bullpen, which is surprising for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that Tannenbaum typically doesn't go all that deep in outings. And the second of which is that he's supposed to be batting in the bottom of the third inning. The pitch called strike now on Alex Crosby. On the inner half in the count 0-1. On the left-handed contact hitter, who's about as consistent as they come. His 10-game hitting streak was snapped back in Game 1 of the doubleheader. This one swinging a line drive into left center field is a base hit. Wolanski rounds third. He'll score. Harris goes from first to third, and it's a RBI double from Alex Crosby, who goes the other way to left center and gives the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead with one out in the top of the third inning. And the Blue Crabs not done yet with 2 in scoring position as Braxton Lee comes to the plate. Well, the Blue Crabs had first and second with 1 out, and then David Harris with an RBI single to left that scored Sundberg. And Crosby with an RBI single to left center that brought home Michael Wolanski. So it's Harris from third, Crosby from second. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep left center field, back to the warning track, and a terrific catch by the left fielder Kelly. Now tagging from third and scoring, it's David Harris, but that ball was hit very well to the left side, nearly left the ballpark, but a terrific catch by Scott Kelly to prevent both runs from scoring, and an extra base hit at least from Braxton Lee as that ball nearly left the ballpark. But there are 2 outs. It's now a 4-0 game as Harris tagged and scored from third base. Meanwhile, Walker from second base to third base. A sacrifice fly now from Braxton Lee. Been to the plate twice, and he has recorded 0 at-bats. Sac fly and a walk for the left-handed hitter. Here's the switch hitting designated hitter. It's Joe DeLuca, as the Blue Crabs have scored 4 runs across 2 2/3 against Max Tannenbaum. First pitch close, but it ran a little bit up and in for ball 1 on Joe DeLuca. Meanwhile, Alex Crosby from third base. So far, Alfredo Gonzalez has had trouble throwing the ball, but he's done well defensively behind the plate. Haven't seen so many pass balls or even wild pitches. 1-0. Swing a high pop-up foul behind home plate. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. But on a ball that would get by the catcher, Gonzalez, it would allow Alex Crosby to come from third. Runner on third base, 2 outs, 4-0 Southern Maryland. Across a 3-run third inning. We'll give Mackenzie Mills a little bit of breathing room to work with. After the base hit, DeLuca's batting average from .288 to .302, and it'll jump like that. When you're in the early season, don't have that many at-bats. A base hit, good to raise your batting average by 14 points. 1-1 offering. Breaking ball called strike, and DeLuca letting him know that wasn't close. He pointed to the spot. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, not happy with Joe DeLuca telling him where that pitch was. Did look a little bit outside. But the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the toast man is yelling about firing up the toaster. He wants a strikeout. 1-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. Southern Maryland with a 3-run 3rd. Scored 1 in the 1st and 3 in the 3rd. So far, Charleston without a run. Tannenbaum 1 strike away from getting out of the inning, but it comes up and in and hits Joe DeLuca, who goes down to the ground on a 72-mile-an-hour curveball. Came up and in and hit him. And now the catcher, the trainer, Lauren Eck, out to have a conversation with him, make sure he's all right. It may have hit him right on a bone. But he went down in pain immediately. Stan Clyburn out to see if he's all right. And it appears that he's okay, and Joe DeLuca walks down the line to first base.
Now batting catcher number 2.
So now there are runners on the corners. Max Tannenbaum was 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, but he ends up hitting Joe DeLuca. He also hit this man. That's Ryan Haug, one of 3 hit batsmen in this game. Max Tannenbaum has thrown 59 pitches across 2 2/3 innings. We're going to have our trivia question for you in the top of the 4th. Answer to the trivia question comes in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch to Ryan Haug, a called strike on the outside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Haug, who hits .353, but it's the on-base percentage that jumps off the page. He's hitting over 500 with his on-base percentage. And it came up and in and hit him again. Ryan Haug has been hit twice today. That is the 18th and 19th times that Ryan Haug has been hit by a pitch. It is honestly mind-boggling. And the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, goes up to have a chat with him, and he's telling him, hey, I'm not going to throw you out of the game. These are clearly unintentional, but if you continue to hit people, you can't stay in the game much longer. At some point, it's a bit of a safety hazard. It's the 4th batter that he's hit. He's hit Haug twice, hit DeLuca once, and hit Wolanski. And the bases are now loaded with 2 outs. And here comes Michael Baca, the 9-hitter. Batting .232 on the season. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, 3rd base side, fielded by Bertram. He'll step on the bag, and that ends the inning. The Blue Crabs score 3, but they strand 3 at the end of 2.5 innings of play. It's the Blue Crabs 4 and the Dirty Birds nothing. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
Well, the first pitch to Zach Cohn in the bottom of the third inning is cut on and popped up behind home plate. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs lead this one 4-0 on a cloudy and slightly rainy evening, or at least rain to come. This one swung on a high pop-up in the infield. It's Joe DeLuca who ranges toward the outfield grass where he makes the catch for the first out. The players usually toss the ball around the infield. DeLuca was right next to Wolanski, so he just handed the ball to him directly, and then Wolanski tossed it around the infield. One away in the bottom of the third as Angel Garcid comes to the plate as a pinch hitter. So Max Tannenbaum's evening is over as Angel Garcid comes in the game. So with 1 out, it's Garcid to the plate. Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead. Garcid hitting 184 this year. He does have 1 home run. The pitch from Mills. Fastball, called strike, count 0-1. Well, a strong start now from Mackenzie Mills. Over 2 1/3 inning, he's allowed 1 hit. Well, the 0-1 pitch is up and in, count 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs offense found a spark in the 3rd inning. This one, swinging a ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. Angel Garcid comes through with a single. Runner on first base and 1 out for Angel Garcid.
Number 2, Scott Kelly.
Bottom of the 3rd inning. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs scored 1 in the first. They added 3 in the 3rd. And West Virginia, the Charleston Dirty Birds, I should say, are still looking for their first run of the ball game. First pitch runs a little bit low and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes. I mentioned it's the state capitol. And the Golden Dome of the state capitol building is way over toward right field. It's not in the camera shot. As the 1-0 pitch. He's going to toss over to first to check on Garcid. And the count remains 1 ball and no strikes now on Scott Kelly, who is the leadoff man for the Dirty Birds. He's also 0 for 1 today. This one swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. This team is very strong 2-3-4 with Beltre, Perez, and Longy. That trio combines for a .308 batting average. Alfredo Gonzalez also hits over 300 at .304. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning as the Charleston Dirty Birds are trailing 4-0. They've got a runner on first base, though, with 1 out. Just their second base runner of the game. The pitch to Kelly. Swinging a high fly ball, left field, shallow. It sends Walker a few steps in where he makes the catch for the 2nd out.
Now batting for your Dirty Birds, center fielder, number 7,
Angel Beltre comes to the plate. He's got a very interesting walk-up song where it says Picante, Picante. It's kind of fun. I like it. Runner on first base with 2 outs. A 4-0 Blue Crabs lead. First pitch low in the dirt. Haug gets up, and by the time he got up, he realized there was not going to be a play at second base. And Angel Garcid advances to second with a stolen base. Be interested to see the ruling on that, whether it's a wild pitch, a stolen base, a pass ball. I could see it being a wild pitch or a stolen base, honestly. Though Garza did not leave until the ball had already crossed home plate. And it is a wild pitch on Mackenzie Mills. Beltre calls for time and now steps back in. Runner on second base, 2 outs. Mills on the rubber, steps off and now steps back on. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Beltre. Here's the pitch. And now a snap throw to second. And Beltre, I beg your pardon, that's Garson who took off for third when Haug threw down to second base. So a delayed steal. I'd imagine that would go down as a stolen base for Beltre. And now there's a runner on third base with 2 outs. Well, Garson creating all sorts of trouble on the diamond. 2-0 pitch. That's away. Count 3 balls and no strikes on Engel Beltre. It's Engel Beltre and Angel Garcet. Here's the 3-0. Called strike. Right down the middle from Mackenzie Mills. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-1, swinging a ground ball foul. First base side. Gets toward the seats. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Beltre. Mills was behind in the count, but he's worked him back even. Beltre waves the bat behind his helmet. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Beltre goes down swinging on a high fastball. And that ends the bottom of the 3rd inning. Charleston picked up a single. And Angel Garcet stranded on third. As we finish the 3rd inning, it's still 4-0 Blue Crabs. Stick with us as we go to the top of the 4th.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
Top of the fourth inning, it's Jack Sundberg who comes to the plate. First pitch from the sidearm pitcher who enters the ball game for the Dirty Birds is away for ball one. Break down all the details in just one moment as Joe Testa comes to the mound. As the 1-0 pitch is away, count 2 balls and no strikes. Testa comes in at 5'10", 175. Played as high as Double-A. Lefty side armor. Throws upper 70s, lower 80s. And the 2-0 pitch, that's upstairs on Sundberg. Count 3 balls and no strikes on the lefty. Testa comes in with a 7.71 ERA. 3-0, that's a called strike. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Base paths empty as Jack Sundberg leads off the inning. 3-1 pitch. That's a called strike on the outside corner. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Testa has pitched 21 innings so far this season. He's walked just 5 batters across 21 innings. His count is even at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Sundberg. And 5 walks across 21 innings, a very good number as far as control is concerned. 3-2, swinging a line drive foul, third base side. And another long at bat from Sundberg. Way back in the first inning, Jack Sundberg had a 9-pitch at bat before he grounded out to second base. Three-two is low, ball 4. Sundberg checked his swing, and he's on base for the second time today, the first time that he's reached via the walk. And here comes Michael Wolanski. Wolanski, right-handed hitter for the Blue Crabs. Testa set. Here's the pitch. It's a little bit inside of the count. 1 ball and no strikes. The Blue Crabs come into this one with a 10.5 game lead over the second place team in the South Division. Or the North Division, I beg your pardon. That's the Long Island Ducks. 1-0. Swinging a foul ball. First base side. It's going to out of play into the seats. Blue Crabs playing the Dirty Birds for the second time on the road. You don't play all the teams the same number of times in the Atlantic League. And the 1-1 pitch cut on and missed. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs will play Charleston in a home-and-home for July 4th. At home for 2 games, then go back on the road for 2 games at Charleston. Then play Charleston at home for 3 more games. As the 1-2 pitch called strike 3. And he goes down looking. And there is 1 out. And it's interesting because the Blue Crabs play some teams in the South Division only 6 or 7 times. Blue Crabs have played all their games against Lexington. They will not play Lexington again this season. Played them on the road for 4, at home for 3. They played the Genomes for a total of 9 games. But the Blue Crabs have far more games against Charleston. Runner goes, one comes inside and hits Jared Walker. And so they're now runners on first and second with 1 out. As the breaking ball ran way inside on Walker, who walks gingerly down the first base line. It's the 5th hit batter from Charleston today, and it brings up David Harris with 1 out and a 4-run lead for the Blue Crabs. And when David Harris is swinging the ball well, there is no question. Harris flied out deep to left field back in the first. Had an RBI double in the third. Pitch, that's low. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Walker from first. It's Sundberg from second. 1-0 pitch. That runs inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes. The pitcher, Joe Testa, has a fastball that's in the low 80s. 2-0 pitch, cut on and foul back. Off the catcher, Alfredo Gonzalez, in the count 2-1. So he's got a fastball right around 81, 82, will touch 83 from time to time. And then his breaking ball in the mid-60s. As a sidearm pitcher, he doesn't have to pitch fast. Though it could add an extra element there for him. First and second with 1 out. Walker leads off first, Sundberg off second. 2-1. A little bit low. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Lights are on here in Charleston, West Virginia. Rain still hasn't started falling yet. As the 3-1 pitch is upstairs, ball 4. And David Harris draws a walk. He's not someone who draws all that many walks typically. But he draws a 5-pitch walk as the 3-1 pitch went upstairs, and the Blue Crabs have the bases loaded with just 1 out. Well, Jared Walker off second base, and David Harris from first. That brings up Alex Crosby. You mentioned this last inning, but he's one of the most consistent contact hitters in the Blue Crabs order. Back in the second, he roped one to left, but it was tracked down by Juan Carlos Perez. This one swinging a ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. Sundberg scores. They wave around Walker. The throw to the plate is, oh, no way. He called him out. Oh, it wasn't close. He was easily safe. Oh, he was very clearly safe. That is a bad call by the home plate umpire. The throw was late. It came in high, and Walker slid under the tag. And there's no way he was out at the plate. The Blue Crabs do score 1. Walker called out as he went to the plate. And from my vantage point here, it wasn't close. Walker was easily safe. But the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, called him out. We'll have to take another look at it through our replay, but that did not look particularly close. It is a 5-0 Blue Crabs lead, but there are 2 outs. As we got one more look at it here on our replay. The throw came in. Oh, he was not even close. Not close. He tagged him on the helmet after he'd already slid in. Very clearly safe. Jared Walker should have scored an additional run. Either way, it's 5-0 Blue Crabs. It should be 6, but it's just 5-0. First pitch called strike on Braxton Lee, and that was a really tough call. The Blue Crabs are going to have to swallow, though. Fortunately for them, they've got a 5-0 lead and have some insurance runs to work with, but it wasn't particularly close. As the 0-1 pitch is away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, let's go and get to our trivia question after this pitch. It is the top of the 4th inning after all. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're going to reiterate the trivia question back in the bottom of the 4th, but let's give it to you first here. The Blue Crabs started Game 2 of their doubleheader yesterday at 11:44 p.m. to be precise. What is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started? Local time, that is. 1-2 pitch is inside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if a game started on the West Coast later, it does not count, obviously, if you're on the East Coast. So what is the latest a game has started local time in MLB history? 2-2 pitch, cut on and foul back. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. That does include doubleheaders, as last night's game did. The latest an MLB game ever began. We'll have the answer for you in the top of the sixth inning. You can answer this question in the YouTube chat. 2-2 pitch, that's away. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, there are runners on the corners now with 2 outs. Another single from Crosby. He drove in 1 run. Should have been credited with 2. 3-2 pitch, swinging a chopper foul, first base side. Crosby was running on the pitch. 5-0 Blue Crabs. 1 run in the first, 3 in the fourth, 3 in the third, I should say, and 1 so far here in the fourth. Count full on Braxton Lee, who does not have an at-bat registered yet. He's 0 for 0. This one swinging a line drive into left field. It's a base hit. Harris scores easily from third. Crosby goes first to third. A long turn for Braxton Lee, but he scampers back to the bag at first. It's an RBI single, and the Blue Crabs have a 6-0 lead as Braxton Lee pokes that ball into left field and gives the Blue Crabs a 6-0 advantage. Joe Testa has run into trouble here in the fourth. He was gifted an out by the home plate umpire Kirk Powell, and otherwise he's registered just 1 out as he got Michael Wolanski swinging. Pitcher to DeLuca, swinging a high fly ball, shallow left center field. Is going to drop for a base hit. It's a bloop single in left center, and it scores another run. Crosby comes home from third, and the Blue Crabs have a 7-0 lead in the top of the fourth as they continue to pile on the runs. DeLuca to first. That puts Braxton Lee on second, and Southern Maryland with a 7-0 lead over the Charleston Dirty Birds. Well, Blue Crabs added 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and have a 7-0 lead. First pitch called strike on Ryan Haug. And the count, no balls and 1 strike here in the top of the fourth inning as the Blue Crabs have earned some insurance runs. Already had a 4-0 lead, now control a 7-0 lead. 0-1 pitch, that's well away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Haug. Michael Baca on deck. Blue Crabs have 7 hits. DeLuca with 2 hits, Crosby with 2 hits. Here's the pitch. Big wave and a miss from Haug, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Haug does not have a registered at bat either, similar to the way that Braxton Lee did not. Haug has been hit by a pitch not once, but twice. The 17th and 18th times he's been hit by a pitch across 26 games. 1-2. Cut on and foul back to the netting. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. As there is some light rain falling here. Not heavy by any means, but enough for some fans to have the umbrella out. 1-2 pitch is away, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. 2-2. Haug chases and fouls that one away. It was low and away. It would have been ball 3 for sure. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs lead this one 7-0. As rain is now falling here at Appalachian Power Park. The pitch, swinging a line drive, foul, first base side. Heads over toward the party deck. Very well hit ball from Ryan Haug. I think people think so much about how many times he's been hit by a pitch that they think less about his ability to actually drive the ball, and he's a very good hitter as well as a strong defensive catcher. The 2-2 pitch, that's low and away. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes on the pitch from Joe Testa, who has now allowed 3 earned runs and still has runners on first and second with 2 outs. The count now full on Haug. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. So he picked up his leg and now steps off the rubber to walk Braxton Lee and Joe DeLuca back to the bags. Happy you've decided to join us on a terrific Friday evening for baseball. 3-2 pitch. That's inside. It's ball 4. Well, it's certainly a terrific night for baseball for the Blue Crabs. They've got a 7-0 lead and have the bases loaded with 2 outs after Ryan Haug earned a 9-pitch walk. Joe Testa has gone just 2/3 of an inning and has thrown 37 pitches. So far, Testa has gone 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. First pitch to Michael Baca, called strike on the inside corner to the righty. And the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch, swinging a lined 1 hopper over towards short. The throw to second, a close one, and he's called out at second base. Haug thought he might have beat the toss, but that ends the top of the 4th inning. The Mr. Toastman is rooting for rain. He wants this game to be called off. The Blue Crabs looking to play 5 before some heavier rain sets in. It's a 7-0 Southern Maryland lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Stick with us.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's all Blue Crabs. They lead this one 7-0. First pitch is inside on Juan Carlos Perez. The Blue Crabs scored 1 in the first, 3 in the 3rd, and 3 in the 4th. As rain has started to settle in. As the 1-0 pitch is a called strike on the inner half. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. It's not too terribly rainy, but it's falling here. For now, light rain. 1-1 pitch is low in the dirt, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Juan Carlos Perez. With the base paths empty and nobody out. Blue Crabs batted all the way around in the fourth in that 3-run inning, leaving the bases loaded. 2-1 pitch, called strike on the outer half, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The entire team has already come to the plate 3 times through the first 4 innings. This will be the 4th at bat for the 4th plate appearance for Sundberg to start the 5th when the Blue Crabs come to the plate next. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a breaking ball low and out of the zone. It's strike 3, and there is one away. Mackenzie Mills has been mixing his pitches effectively so far. Through 3 1/3 innings, Mackenzie Mills has thrown just 43 pitches. Here comes Nick Longy. First pitch, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate, count 0-1. The toast man stands, and sits in row 1 right behind home plate. Not only is he always cooking toast in that toaster that they have not yet used. 0-1 pitch. Check swing, they motion down to the first base umpire, Antonio Veltri, who said he'd held up. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Base paths are empty. Rain falling steadily now. The pitch, swinging a high pop-up. Shallow right center field. It's the right fielder Braxton Lee who takes charge and makes the catch head high for the second out. Quickly 2 up and 2 down as Longy is retired. And that brings up Diego Corres. Corres bats 5th for the Dirty Birds. And they're doing the helium PA announcing here in the bottom of the 4th inning, which makes the PA announcer's voice obviously very high-pitched. Sort of a fun promotion. I'm not sure how much I love it, but it's interesting. First pitch is away for ball 1 on Goris. 7-0, Southern Maryland leads. 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth. As the 1-0 pitch, called strike, count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mackenzie Mills in his last 2 outings has found a bit of a groove, went 7 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. In his last outing in Lancaster, 1-1 pitch, check swing. Motion down to the first base umpire, Antonio Veltri, who said he held up. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. With 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 2-1 offering. Swinging a high pop-up in the infield. It's the third baseman Crosby who drifts back onto the outfield grass, gives way for Michael Baca, who makes the catch for the final out. Well, the Dirty Birds are retired in order at the end of 4 innings of play. It's all Blue Crabs still, 7-0. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson, and the whole team trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289.
Well, the first pitch to Jack Sundberg, who leads things off for the Blue Crabs, is low for ball one. Top of the fifth inning, 7-0 Blue Crabs. And Joe Testa back to the mound. 1-0 pitch is a called strike. And the count 1-1 strike now on Jack Sundberg, who is coming to the plate for the fourth time this evening in the top of the fifth inning. 1-1. That's up and away. Count 2-1 strike. This one swinging a ground ball over towards second base. Tough play for Goris, but he ends up fielding and tossing to first in time to get the speedy Jack Sundberg, and there's one away in the top of the fifth. Brings up Michael Wolanski. Wolanski 1 for 2. He walked, I beg your pardon, he's 0 for 1. He walked twice and struck out once. One away in the top of the fifth. First pitch to Wolanski, swinging a high chopper over towards shortstop. Going to be a tough play. The throw from Kane to first is in time, or Cone, I should say. And there are 2 away in the top of the fifth. Quickly 2 up and 2 down from Joe Testa. And not heavy rain by any means, but it is continuing to fall here. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have won 6 of their last 7 games. As the first pitch is low and away, and way away on Jared Walker, and the count 1 no strikes. Alfredo Gonzalez couldn't get to that ball, and Gonzalez has been pretty good behind the plate, all things considered. The only thing that has phased Gonzalez has been throwing the ball through both balls into center field, actually. 1-0 pitch, called strike, and the count 1 strike. When Jack Sundberg stole second base, he airmailed the throw into center. And when Michael Wolanski stole second base, he skipped it into center field. 1-1 pitch is away. Count 2 strike. Well, a toast man trying to get everybody fired up yet again. With 2 outs. 2-1 pitch to Walker. Swinging a chopper over towards second base, fielded by Goris. An underhand flip, a little bit high, but controlled by Longy up first base for the final out. The Blue Crabs go down in order in the top of the fifth inning. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway done from Appalachian Power Park, and the Blue Crabs have a 7-0 lead.
Contractors Association of West Virginia. Great group.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by, and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Bottom of the fifth inning, a pinch hitter comes to the plate. Tyler Blum enters the game in place of Alfredo Gonzalez. First pitch upstairs for ball one for Mackenzie Mills. 1-0 pitch. That's low and in. Count 2 balls and no strikes. We're going to reiterate our trivia question here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Make sure everybody heard it the first time, but you can always answer the question in the YouTube chat. If you'd like a shout out, you can still ask for a shout out in the YouTube chat, and we'll get to you. The 2-0 pitch cut on a high pop up first base side, headed toward the seats, and it gets out of play. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So our trivia question is, what is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever begun? This does include doubleheaders, as the Blue Crabs game started yesterday at 11:44 p.m. Mackenzie Mills set, gets the sign from the catcher Haug. 2-1 pitch to Blum is swung on in an awkward hop. It took off in the baseline and foul ground. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a well-struck ball from Blum. Every once in a while, you get a weird hop on one of these fields. Now, the grounds crew goes through a lot to get these fields right, but it's never going to be perfect. 2-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off. First base side, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's not like Major League Baseball where you've got a 20-man grounds crew to make sure everything is in perfect shape. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth inning. The pitch, swing and a miss. Tyler Blum tried to check his swing, but he clearly went around, and there is 1 out in the bottom of the fifth inning. And that leads for Scott Burcham. So after Blum goes down, it's Burcham followed by Zach Cohn. Overcast skies and a light rain falling here from Appalachian Power Park. First pitch is a called strike now on Nick Longy. Runner on first and 1 out. Or beg your pardon, on Scott Burcham. So on swinging a line drive into shallow left field for a base hit. Scotty Burcham is aboard. The former Blue Crabs picks up a hit against his former team. And there's a runner on first base with 1 out. Burcham played in AAA as recently as last year. As Zach Cohn comes to the plate. There are a lot of batters toward the bottom of the order for the Dirty Birds that have struggled this season. And Burcham, one of them. He is only hitting .208. First pitch swinging from Zach Cohn. Swung on and fouled away. And there is a pinch hitter on deck. We'll let you know who that is as soon as we have word. The pinch hitter is, it's not a pinch hitter. It's Joe Testa himself who's going to come to the plate. 0-1 pitch. That's away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. So it seems as though the plan is to leave Joe Testa in for a significant period of time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be, or they would be pinch hitting for him. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Cohn. The pitch, that's low. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs bats have hit often, and they've hit in bunches. And they collected 3 runs in the third, 3 more in the fourth, and they started with a 1-0 lead. 2-1 pitch, a wave and a miss from Zach Cohn. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 7-0 Southern Maryland in the top of the fifth inning. And meanwhile, Joe Testa on deck. So you'd have to imagine if Mackenzie Mills can get the out here, as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and foul back, he puts himself in a very good position to get through 5 without much more damage. Mackenzie Mills has now thrown 63 pitches in tonight's ball game, where the Blue Crabs have a 7-run lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 2-2 to Cone. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, struck him out. And it's just the 5th strikeout of the day for Mackenzie Mills. And this is a 7-0 ball game with the Blue Crabs. 1 out away from officially getting through 5 innings. And I don't think the rain is going to start to come down hard enough so that there's going to be an issue. And right now it's a lighter rain. Joe Testa swinging a slow ground ball over to second. Going to be a close play with a flip to first from Wolanski is in time to end the 5th inning. Well, it's the Blue Crabs 7 and the Dirty Birds nothing as we're finished with 5 innings of play from Appalachian Power Park. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
Well, Blue Crabs will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate here in the top of the 6th. 7-0 Southern Maryland. As Joe Testa is back out on the mound, you'd have to imagine, as the first pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. Looked a little bit outside, but a called strike nonetheless. You'd have to imagine Testa's going to be in this for a little while, as the rain is falling significantly harder than it was earlier. 0-1 pitch, swung on and popped up behind home plate. Going to get out of play. A lot of fans holding umbrellas. Other fans with rain jackets on, rain slickers. Count 0-2 now on Harris. The pitch, swinging a line drive back behind home plate toward the netting, and the count 0-2. Blue Crabs 7, Dirty Birds nothing. 1 run in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth for the Blue Crabs. Harris followed by Crosby and Lee. 4, 5, and 6 2 up. 0-2 is outside. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on David Harris. One, two, swinging a ground ball, third base side, nicely gloved by Bertram. The throw across the diamond is in time, to get Harris, who runs relatively well. And there is one out in the top of the 6th.
Now batting third baseman.
That brings up Alex Crosby. 7-0 Blue Crabs on a rainy day in the middle of June. The forecast is rather similar from here on out. Light rain for the next hour, picks up probably around 10 o'clock, but in a perfect world, I think we'd be finished with our game by 10 o'clock as the first pitch to Alex Crosby is cut on and tapped foul. Third base side, and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. 0-1, swung on and driven foul, third base side. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs played until 2 a.m. yesterday. Game 2 started just 2 minutes before 11:45 p.m. The question for you today, your trivia question, what is the latest an MLB game has ever started in Major League Baseball history? 0-2 pitch runs away, count 1 ball and 2 strikes. If we get enough answers, we'll give you the answer here in the 6th. 1-2 pitch. That's away. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So tonight's trivia question, what is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started? I'm going to read a couple of other comments here on the YouTube. If you'd like a shout out, again, please feel free to write your name and location in the YouTube chat. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Alex Crosby goes down swinging. There are 2 away in the inning. Well, that brings up Braxton Lee. So after a ground out from David Harris, it's Crosby who goes down on strikes. And here is the toast man. He's throwing out toast. They are very burnt pieces of toast. That we can guarantee you. And they're not particularly accurately thrown. First pitch swinging from Braxton Lee, and it's right at the shortstop, Zach Cohn, who makes the catch for the final out. The Blue Crabs go down in order in the top of the 6th. It's 7-0 Southern Maryland. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
back to the top of the order for the Charleston Dirty Birds in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Blue Crabs have a 7-0 lead. A pair of crooked numbers in the 3rd and 4th for the Blue Crabs have powered them ahead of the Dirty Birds. Used to be known as the West Virginia Power until last season. First pitch called strike from Mackenzie Mills. And Mills has been very consistent thus far. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit upstairs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. As you can take a look back through some of his more recent starts this season. This one swinging a hot shot over toward third base, fielded by Crosby. The throw across the diamond is in time, and there is one away. Back to the point about the pitcher for the Blue Crabs, Mackenzie Mills, as Engel Beltre comes to the plate, who has this great Picante song that continues to play as his walk-up song. Back to the point about Mackenzie Mills. He's pitching much better, especially recently. As the first pitch is a called strike on Beltre. The 0-1 is upstairs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. He went 7 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs in his last start. 0-1 pitch cut on and foul back. Or the 1-1 pitch, I should say. Count 1 and 2. And he actually ran into trouble earlier this season, especially in the game at Gastonia, where he went 5 innings and allowed 8 runs. Across the month of May, had a 4.94 ERA, but here in the month of June, things going much better for the lefty. As the 1-2 pitch is low and away in the dirt. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. And again, we have the answer to our trivia question coming up. We're going to do that in the top of the 7th inning. Going to make sure everybody has a chance to hear that before we move on. As the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, calls time. Well, Nick Sweetman asked what was up with the tricycle, and the idea was that they had grown men riding tricycles that were kid-sized. As the 2-2 pitch is lined foul, third base side. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back to that last trivia question, what is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started? So you can write your answers in the YouTube chat. We'll get to you guys as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and lined right to the second baseman, Wolanski, who makes the catch for the second out. And our trivia question today, what is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started? The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs began Game 2 of their doubleheader yesterday, just 2 minutes before 11:45 p.m. First pitch to Juan Carlos Perez. Hit high in the air, deep left field, back to the warning track at the wall. It's the left fielder Walker who's there to make the catch for the final out. Well, Mackenzie Mills once again retires the Dirty Birds in order. 1, 2, 3. We're finished with 6 innings of play. It's the Blue Crabs who still hold a 7-0 lead over Charleston. Stick with us. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
Well, top of the 7th inning, the first pitch from Joe DeLuca was foul away. Count no balls and 1 strike in the top of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs have a 7-0 lead over the Dirty Birds. 0-1 pitch. That's low and in. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on DeLuca. Base paths are empty. As the rain has slowed, maybe come to a full stop here. 1-1 pitch. Called strike at the knees in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Base paths are empty with nobody out. 1-2, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So it is DeLuca who will be followed by Ryan Haug and Michael Baca. 7, 8, and 9 in the Blue Crabs order, which is far from the easiest part of this batting order. And one of the really big positives about this Blue Crabs order is that it is so consistent top to bottom. And this one, swinging a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Joe DeLuca is aboard with another single. He's now 3 for 3 on the evening with a trio of singles. And the Blue Crabs have the leadoff runner on here on the top of the 7th as Ryan Haug comes to the plate. Ryan Haug bats 8th for the Blue Crabs. And he'll be followed by Michael Baca. Joe DeLuca having a conversation with the first baseman, Nick Longy. First pitch misses, low and away for ball 1 on Haug. 1 ball, no strikes on the righty. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, foul behind home plate. Joe Testa has gone 3 innings so far. Has 2 strikeouts and has thrown 66 pitches. Came in for Tannenbaum, who had the start. Max Tannenbaum went 3 innings of work, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep right field. It's the right fielder, Juan Carlos Perez, back on the warning track where he makes the catch in front of the wall, and there is 1 away. And here comes Michael Baca. Michael Baca has actually come up with the bases loaded a few times today. And he's had some trouble coming through with the bases loaded, but now with just a runner on first base and 1 out, Baca will have another opportunity. That's the first time that Ryan Haug has registered in at bat, actually. It's his fourth plate appearance. This one swinging a high fly ball, right field. Long run for Juan Carlos Perez, but he gets there as he moves over toward the line for the second out. So after a leadoff single from Joe DeLuca, a pair of flyouts to right field, and there are two away in the top of the seventh. Sundberg restraps his batting gloves. First pitch, called strike on the inside corner. Sundberg not a big fan of that call. As he looked back at the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. 0-1 pitch. That one's away. Count 1-1 strike now on the lefty. DeLuca leads off of first base. Sundberg at the plate. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and lifted foul, third base side. Count 1-2. Michael Wolanski on deck. Wolanski has reached base twice, but is also 0 for 2. 1-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball, third base side once again. And the count remains 1-2 strikes on Jack Sundberg, who's 1 for 3 on the day. He's scored 2 runs. He's also walked once today. 1-2, called strike 3. Sundberg can't believe it, but he's rung up on strikes on a pitch on the outside corner. And that ends the top of the 7th inning. Well, the Blue Crabs still have a 7-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, as the Charleston Dirty Birds look to get back in it in the final 3 innings. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. The Blue Crabs looking for back-to-back wins tonight. or we apologize for having some technical difficulties there. It is a 7-0 lead for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Runner on second base. Here's the pitch. That one is away in the count. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Scott Burcham. Runner on second base was a double that came off the bat of Tyler Blum. A ground rule double. Bounced over the wall in left field. The pitch to Burcham is cut on and dripped foul down the third base side. That one had enough distance on it to get out of the ballpark and was hit hard enough, but it went foul on the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the righty. Mackenzie Mills was rolling through the first 6 2/3, but has found himself in a little bit of trouble here in the 7th. After allowing a 2-out double and a couple hard hit balls from Scott Burcham, but they've been foul. 2-2 pitch, low and in, as it's blocked by Ryan Haug, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Toastman plays quite a big role here at Appalachian Power Park. Not only does he get the crowd going, but he also does events in between innings. 3-2, swinging a high pop-up, shallow right field. It's the right fielder Braxton Lee who calls off the second baseman Michael Wolanski and makes the catch for the final out. The Blue Crabs allow 1 hit in the bottom of the 7th, but get out of the inning unscathed. It's a 7-0 lead for Southern Maryland. Stick with us as we go to the top of the 8th. Well, back in the top of the 8th inning, the first pitch to Michael Wolanski was swung on and fouled off, first base side out of play. 7-0 Southern Maryland at the top of the 8th. And the 0-1 pitch is low and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. We're going to give you the answer to our trivia question in just a couple of moments. Joe Testa back out for his 5th inning of work as the 1-1 pitch sails inside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. And it is honestly very troubling that the Charleston Dirty Birds didn't go to Testa as their starter today, considering he's likely to go 5 full innings, which would have allowed them to keep the designated hitter. 2-1 pitch, called strike. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And they simply could have gone to Max Tannenbaum directly thereafter. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Wolanski. This one swung on and dribbled foul behind home plate. Count remains 2-2 on the righty. Southern Maryland scored 1 in the first. They scored 3 in the third and added 3 more in the top of the fourth. Off of Joe Testa. Pitch. 2-2 is away. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes on the righty. A windy evening. There was light rain at times. The rain has since stopped. 3-2, swinging a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. Michael Wolanski aboard with a base hit as the 63-mile-an-hour breaking ball gave Wolanski enough time to make an adjustment and get to that ball and chop it up the middle for a base hit. Runner on first base now and nobody out for Jared Walker as the Blue Crabs have a 7-0 lead in the top of the 8th inning. Well, our question today was, what is the latest that a Major League Baseball game has ever started? And that was the question for everybody. We're going to give people one more batter to try to figure this one out. See if anybody would like to answer. What is the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started? First pitch is away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Runner on first base, nobody out. 1-0 pitch, called strike. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Jared Walker. We'll give you at least part of the answer now as the 1-1 pitch was inside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. The game happened back in 1993 between the Phillies and the Padres, the latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started. Local time, that is. Between the Phillies and the Padres in 1993. 2-1 pitch is inside, and the count 3 balls and a strike now. On Jared Walker, after Michael Wolanski earned a walk, Joe Testa has found himself in trouble. 3-1. And he went around on a check swing, and the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And after Jared Walker's at bat, we will get to the answer to our question. The latest a Major League Baseball game has ever started in history. Put your comment, put your answer in the YouTube chat if you have an answer to our question. And the home plate umpire in today's ball game, Kirk Powell, calls time. 3-2 from Testa. That's away, ball 4, and Jared Walker is on base. Runners on first and second with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. And that brings David Harris to the plate. Harris with a couple of very long home runs this year. He gets into a ball, he will destroy it. He almost did that back in the first inning when he had a deep fly out to left center field over toward that Comac sign in left center. The pitch, that's low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. It was the center fielder, Angel Beltre, who eventually tracked the ball down before David Harris would have earned extra bases. But the Blue Crabs have a healthy 7-0 lead. 1-0 pitch. Called strike in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jared Walker, who stands on first, was called out by the home plate umpire, Kirk Powell. It's back in the 4th inning, but the Blue Crabs already had a large lead. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Walker from first, Wolanski from second. Joe Testa ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the 4-hitter, David Harris. 1-2 pitch is upstairs. Well, let's give you the answer to our question. This game did not start until 1:20 a.m. That is the latest that a baseball game has ever started. 1:20 a.m. This one swinging a line drive, right field side. It's going to get into the seats out of play. and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on David Harris. But I never thought I'd hear that. That a baseball game starts at 1:20 in the morning. Ended at 4:40 for the Blue Crabs. They don't play Lexington again this year, which was the reason that they really wanted to get these games in yesterday. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. David Harris goes down looking in the top of the 8th. And he may have been thrown out of the ball game. And David Harris has been thrown out of the ball game after he was called out on strikes. I'm not sure if he's going to be forced to leave the field or not. But he was not happy with the call. And with the Blue Crabs leading 7-0. The Blue Crabs will not have their designated hitter for the rest of the game. And the top of the 8th inning is the first pitch to Alex Crosby, a called strike on the outside corner. And the count 0-1. The pitch, this is a ground ball over toward third, a throw to first, get the lead out, and that will be the second out of the inning. I think there was a chance that the third baseman, Scott Bertram, maybe could have gotten the lead out at second base. He may have thought that ended the inning. But there are just 2 outs as the Blue Crabs send Braxton Lee to the plate with runners on second and third in the top of the 8th inning. 7-0 Blue Crabs. All 7 runs came across the first 4 innings. This will give the Blue Crabs an opportunity to get some other guys some action after a terrific start from Mackenzie Mills as the first pitch is away for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Mills has thrown 90 pitches, 60 of them for strikes. Braxton Lee 1 for 2 on the game, hitting .287 on the season. The 1-2 pitch, that's low. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Runners on second and third. It's Jared Walker on second. Michael Wolanski on third. 2-0 pitch, swung on and fouled off. Third base side, count 2 balls and 1 strike. Two in scoring position with 2 out for the Blue Crabs. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have the best record in the Atlantic League as the 2-1 pitch is cut on and missed. Braxton Lee not happy that he merely got a foul tip on that ball into the mitt of the new catcher for the Dirty Birds, who came in replacement of Alfredo Gonzalez. That's Blum. 2-2 pitch is up and away. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jared Walker from second. And over at third base, Michael Wolanski with 2 outs. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, right center field. Hit pretty well, but the center fielder, Engel Beltre, is there. And he makes the catch in front of the warning track for the final out. Another very well-hit ball from Braxton Lee, but in the wrong part of the park. And that ends the top of the 8th inning. We go to the middle of the 8th. It's the Blue Crabs who still hold a 7-0 lead over the Dirty Birds. Well, Zach Cohn comes to the plate to get things started in the bottom of the 8th, 7-0 Southern Maryland. The first pitch is cut on and fouled back behind home plate. And the count 0-1 on Mackenzie Mills. The starting pitcher back out in the bottom of the 8th. He's gone 7 innings, thrown 91 pitches now, 61 of them for strikes. The control has been a major factor in keeping that pitch count down from Mackenzie Mills. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, count 0-2. Mills has pitched extremely well through 7+ innings. Allowed only 4 hits. 0-2, cut on and popped up foul behind home plate. And the count now remains no balls and 2 strikes. And the other thing that Mills has done especially effectively is limit the walks. And when I say limit, he's allowed none. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a high pop-up. Shallow right field again. Wolanski calls off Braxton Lee, who makes the catch about 25 feet into the right field grass, and there is one away. Wolanski played as high as AAA last season as part of the Astros organization out of Worcester College. It's not the Worcester in Massachusetts. First pitch called strike on Joe Testa, the pitcher in today's game, who will be batting. 0-1 offering. Swinging a line drive, shallow, right at the shortstop, Michael Baca, and there is one away. Michael Baca saw the ball, initially drifted back on it, then came in a couple steps, and the shortstop made the catch for the second out. The Blue Crabs with a 7-0 lead. The Toast Man has all sorts of different chants that he leads behind home plate. But the Toast Man has been quieter recently. He was calling out the Blue Crabs for their late game last night. As the first pitch runs inside, count 1-0. For those of you who don't know who the Toast Man is, he's not on field, but he's not really even the host, but he's a super fan that's part of the team. 1-0 pitch cut on and fouled over toward the Blue Crabs bullpen. Looks as though Alex Marathew is getting some work in. He is throwing in the bullpen. The issue, though, is that Mackenzie Mills keeps pitching this way. Blue Crabs might not want to take him out. 1-1 pitch, called strike. Count 1-2 with 2 outs. The Blue Crabs lead this one by 7. Charleston still looking to get on the board here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 1-2 to Scott Kelly, swinging a line drive, one hopper over toward Wolanski, who fields and tosses to first in time. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mackenzie Mills. He's rolling, one of the best performances of the year from the left-hander, as he's gone 8 shutout innings here at Appalachian Power Park. At the end of 8, it's the Blue Crabs who still lead this one 7-0. Well, the Charleston Dirty Birds elect to go back to Joe Testa in the top of the 9th inning. As the Dirty Birds trail this game by 7. He'll face 7, 8, and 9 in the Blue Crabs order, including Joe DeLuca. And the first pitch is a line drive into left field for a base hit. Joe DeLuca with a 4-hit day, 4 singles for the switch hitting designated hitter. And there is a runner on first base with nobody out. A big game from Joe DeLuca. DeLuca's batting average started at .288. It's now at .339. He also drove in a run on a sacrifice fly. This one swung on and grounded foul, third base side. And the count 0-1 on Ryan Haug, who is 0 for 1. Has had 4 plate appearances, but not all of them counted as at-bats. 0-1 up and in. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And one of the rare times that when a ball is up and in, that Ryan Haug isn't hit by the pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. One runs inside. He was nearly hit again, but he moved out of the way. And there's an argument that people say that, is Ryan Haug doing enough to get out of the way of the pitch? And that last one, he could have just stayed there and let that ball hit him. But he said, no, I'm going to get out of the way of it. He knew it was not a particularly hard pitch at 68 miles or 64 miles an hour. This one, swinging a ground ball over towards short, on to second for 1, back on to first, a double play. 6-4-3 double play. The shortstop Cone to the second baseman Goris, on to first for a double play. Here comes Michael Baca.
Now batting shortstop number 3, Michael Baca.
Baca followed by Wilansky. Base paths are empty with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Michael Baca. First pitch called strike. He followed by the leadoff hitter, Jack Sundberg, if necessary. Joe Testa's done an outstanding job of limiting pitches and throwing deep into this start. 0-1 pitch. That missed a little bit away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Michael Baca, the 9-hitter. Blue Crabs 7. Dirty Birds nothing. This one, swinging a ground ball, it deflects off the mound, takes a weird hop, and Michael Baca aboard for the first time today as he singles with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. It may have either deflected off of Testa or off the mound. I would think Testa, but he's likely okay. You don't want to risk anything with 2 outs in the 9th inning when you're down by 7 runs. And I think that's just what they're checking on right now, making sure that everything is standard. Once we are ready to go and play some baseball, there's a runner on first base with 2 outs. The home plate umpire, Kirk Powell, rubbing the ball between his hands. And one of the big differences between baseball nowadays and baseball originally is part of the dead ball era. Way back in baseball, they used to just play with the same ball over and over and over and over again until the ball started to unravel, come apart. Imagine playing with that in Major League Baseball today. That fans throw the balls back to as Jack Sundberg comes to the plate. Sundberg hitting .211 on the year, his OPS at .722 though. Reason being that he draws a ton of walks. First pitch called strike on the lefty center fielder. Meanwhile, Baca from first, 7-0 Southern Maryland. Here's the pitch. 0-1's away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Crabs scored 1 run in the first, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fourth to take the 7-0 lead. 1-1 pitch. Called strike. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Baca. Or 1 and 2 on Sundberg, I should say. Baca on first in the top of the 9th inning. We're glad everybody's decided to join us. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sundberg's pitch, swinging a line drive right back to the mound. Testa had time to react and makes the catch for the final out of the top of the 9th inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th now. It's the Dirty Birds who trail by 7. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Jared Walker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
We go to the top of the 9th inning. It's all Blue Crabs tonight, a 7-0 lead. We're going to go through the evening for Mackenzie Mills as he exits after 8 innings. He threw exactly 100 pitches. 8 innings. He allowed 4 hits. He struck out 5. He walked none. As Alex Marathieu enters this ball game, he faces off against Engel Beltre. 3, 4, and 5. Beltre, Juan Carlos Perez, and Nick Longy to come to the plate in the bottom of the 9th against Alex Marathieu. First pitch from Marathieu. Fastball at 92, that's away in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Marathieu has good control. That's probably his best attribute. As the 1-0 pitch, up and away. The count, 2 balls and no strikes. Through 11 2/3 innings, he's allowed just 14 base runners. Good for a 1.20 whip. Marathieu, 2-0 pitch. That's away. Count 3-0. And just as I said, he's got good control. He's falling behind to the count. 3 balls and no strikes now on Engel Beltre. Beltre to be followed by Perez. 3-0 pitch. Called strike on the outer edge. Just barely clipped the outside corner that time. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Beltre. Marathu set. Pitch, swinging a line drive into center field. It's a base hit. Engel Beltre on with a single in the bottom of the 9th inning. And there's one thing that Marathu has struggled with this year. It's been allowing base hits. And big hits at that. He's allowed 9 earned runs across 11 2/3 innings, including 2 home runs. And it's the big inning that's really hurt Marathu this season. He's generally been quite good. And more times than not, he shuts the other team down without allowing a run. First pitch called strike on a breaking ball on Juan Carlos Perez. But Alex Marathu has also had a tough time. And really it was just 4 innings this year, the difference makers. 0-1, big time breaking ball on the count 0-2. Allowed an earned run against the Wild Health Genomes on April 29th. Allowed 3 earned runs against the Genomes again on April 1st. From there, he did not allow a run until April 14th, where he allowed 3 more against the Dirty Birds. This one swinging a ground ball over to third on a second for 1. Back on to first, not in time. Juan Carlos Perez beats out the 5-4-3 double play as he grounds into a fielder's choice. And there is 1 away. And his last outing against Lancaster on June 3rd went a perfect 1-2-3 inning. But it's the batting average against at 304 that's been tough for the righty. His whip is very good. He has not allowed a single walk this year, which is outstanding. So the Blue Crabs are ahead 7-0 in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch runs inside on Nick Longy. Longy will be followed by Diego Goris and Alfredo Gonzalez if necessary. One 1-0 pitch. Big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on the righty, Nick Longy. One on, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th inning. Charleston needs a touchdown here. Got a ways to go. The 1-1 pitch. Called strike. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the righty Longy. Blue Crabs scored 1 run in the first. They added 3 in the third, 3 more in the fourth, and that's how we've gotten here. 1-2 pitch, check swing, and deflected off of the mask of the umpire, Kirk Powell. And he's going to bring a new ball to Alex Marathu. Talking about the dead ball era earlier today, and the old days, they just let that ball keep on going. If it unraveled and pitchers' strikeouts were way up. Marathu set. The 1-2 pitch. Upcoming to Longy. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? They motioned down to the first base umpire, Antonio Beltre, who said that he held up. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Blue Crabs got the bats going early, and that's all it took. The pitching from Mackenzie Mills was outstanding. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Longy goes down on strikes, and there are 2 away now in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now batting
Diego Goris comes to the plate. Goris bats fifth. Angle at first base. First pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and Marathon really keeping the batters off balance by working backward in these counts. Able to mix up his pitches, going fastball for the most part, but for sometimes going away from the fastball. That time to the breaking ball. Mara through the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, foul behind home plate. It's going to get into the seats. Runner on first base and 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Crabs put up a 7 spot in this ball game. But more even than the offensive production, it's been the pitching from Mackenzie Mills. Where outstanding would be an understatement. 8 innings, 4 hits, no walks. He struck out 5. 0-2 pitch, low in the dirt. Haug lost the handle on it, and meanwhile allows Juan Carlos Perez to advance to second base. Runner on second base, 2 outs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes as Marathon looks to put Diego Goris and the Dirty Birds down. Blue Crabs pitcher Alex Marathon was set, but the home plate umpire Kirk Powell called time. And Marathon throws 92-93. He can definitely blow a fastball by some batters. Throws a slider in the mid-80s. 1-2. Went back to the slider that time and didn't get Diego Goris to bite on it. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base now for the Dirty Birds. Instead of losing by 7 runs, the Blue Crabs look to take the first game of the series and back-to-back wins. Pitch, swinging a ground ball over to short, deflects off the glove of Baca and into center field for a base hit. 1 run's going to score from second base as Juan Carlos Perez comes around, and it is a 7-1 game. And the Charleston Dirty Birds now have gotten on the board. It's a 7-1 ball game as Tyler Blum will come to the plate. It's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. And not only did Goris catch up to it, but he hit it on the nose and a ground ball right back up the middle. Was to the shortstop side of second base, I guess, but it would have been a very, very difficult play anyway for the Blue Crabs shortstop Michael Baca. First pitch called, strike on Blum. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Low into the dirt. Count 1 ball and 1 strike from Marathon on Tyler Blum. The Blue Crabs are looking for back-to-back wins. They're also looking for 7 wins in their last 8 tries, as they had a 5-game winning streak. And the 1-1 pitch is away. Count 2 balls and a strike. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs with the win today would move to 33-11. And the 2-1 cut on and fouled off. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. They've got a 3-game lead over the second-best team in the Atlantic League in the High Point Rockers. Marathu set. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a line drive foul, third base side. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs with a 10.5 game lead over Long Island. And meanwhile in the South Division, Charleston 18-25. They're also 11 games back. Well, Marathu trying to put away Tyler Blum. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul tip off of his cleat. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning. And Tyler Blum having a conversation with the third base coach. Joe DeLuca adjusts his pants. Had his glove on his head. Now the glove back on the hand as we're ready to play some baseball. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Fielded by Haug. Throw to first is in time, and that ends the ball game. The Blue Crabs win this one 7-1 over the Charleston Dirty Birds. As the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs win tonight's game. The Blue Crabs move to 33-11 with the victory. We're going to run back through the major plays in today's ball game. And then we will sign off. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Do not miss first pitch from Charleston on Tuesday night, as Darrell Thompson will take the mound for the Blue Crabs. Well, let's run back through some of the scoring plays in today's game. It all started in the first inning when the Blue Crabs had a walk from Michael Wolanski. He stole second base. It was a throwing error from the catcher for the Dirty Birds, Alfredo Gonzalez, into center field, and that allowed Wolanski to get to third base. And he scored from third on a sacrifice fly that gave the Blue Crabs a 1-0 lead. In the top of the third inning, they continued scoring. It was Alex Crosby who roped a double into left center field, as that scored Michael Wolanski. David Harris had previously singled into left. That scored Jack Sundberg. Gave the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead. Later in the inning, it was Braxton Lee who hit a sacrifice fly to left field, the very deepest part of the ballpark. Goes down as just a sacrifice fly, but it could have easily been extra bases, and that's sort of the way his day went. It did allow David Harris to score and gave the Blue Crabs a 4-0 lead. In the bottom of the fourth inning, it was Alex Crosby who added to that lead on a sharp ground ball single to left field, scoring Jack Sundberg. Jared Walker was thrown out of the plate on a controversial call. Braxton Lee then singled into left field to score David Harris, and Joe DeLuca poked a single to center as well, driving home Alex Crosby and giving the Blue Crabs a 7-0 lead. The game would remain 7-0 from the top of the fourth until the bottom of the ninth, when the Blue Crabs brought Alex Marathu in. And he allowed a single and a ground ball back up the middle that brought home Juan Carlo Perez. And the game would end 7-1. I'd be remiss if we didn't run through some of the box scores and an idea of just how well Mackenzie Mills did today, going 100 pitches through 69 strikes, just 31 balls. He allowed 4 hits and struck out 5. An outstanding performance from Mackenzie Mills. Let's run back through the box score. Michael Wolanski went 1 for 3. Sundberg went 1 for 5. So who had all the hits today for the Blue Crabs? The team totaled 11 hits, and Joe DeLuca had 4 of those 11 hits. He went 4 for 4 today with an RBI. Alex Crosby had 2. He was the only other player with multiple hits in today's game. Braxton Lee was 1 for 3. He also added 2 RBIs. Crosby added a pair of RBIs. And Harris, along with Walker, no one I beg your pardon, with regard to Walker and Harris, they had one hit across the two of them. But no one managed to get multiple hits aside from Crosby and DeLuca, who both had multiple hits in tonight's ball game. Well, that'll do it from us here at Appalachian Power Park as the Blue Crabs win tonight's game 7-1. Be back with you. You should join us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs will battle the Charleston Dirty Birds in Game 2 of that series. They look to win their third consecutive game and their 8th win in their last 9 tries. Well, that'll do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Austin Rooney signing off, and as always saying, let's go Blue Crabs.